So another day into the Sixers suspenseful off season. Today we have more news and rumors. We have an interesting quote from a Sixers beat reporter surrounding the relationship between Ben Simmons and Doc Rivers. Then we go and talk about some ESPN insider information into the Ben Simmons situation and how it may relate to Damian Lillard in Portland. And lastly, Chauncey Billups said what? I mean, he said what? You're not going to want to miss this one. Let's talk about it.
Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? RB here. Welcome back on into Philly Take with RB, where we constantly talk Philadelphia sports. You know what to do already. If you are enjoying this content, leave a like on the video. It really helps me out, guys. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new and ring that little teeny tiny bell so you get all the notifications here on the channel. And be sure to check out the first ever Philly Take with RB merch store. The link is down in the description. Go cop yourself some Fire Take merch. All right, let's talk about it. So we start out today by highlighting what is about to go down tonight, and that is right, the Sixers are back in Summer League action tonight against the Atlanta Hawks. Oh boy, Whippy, what a rematch that I want to see, right? But nah, Tyrese Maxey, Isaiah Joe, Paul Reed, the dogs are back in action, and I'm excited. You know, we're en route to that Summer League chip. I can't wait to see some of our young studs go at it again. You know, they're fighting for some roster spots. They're fighting for some minutes, and I can't wait to see how they build on the amazing performance that we saw just a couple days ago. So definitely keep your eyes out for that. We also have some Eagles preseason football. Might go live for that game, so be sure to stay tuned into the channel. And again, ring that notification bell. But all right, let's talk about it. So an interesting piece put out yesterday was highlighting what Kyle Neubeck had to write about the Sixers. If you guys don't follow Kyle Neubeck, an amazing follow on Twitter. He is a Sixers beat reporter and writer, and he follows his team closely every single day. And this is what he had to say surrounding all the Ben Simmons rumors going on, and something including Doc Rivers. You definitely want to see this. So here's what Kyle Neubeck said. Simmons, for example, has not cut off everybody in the organization, as has been suggested by several people in the know. And, you know, obviously we saw that report put out by Jason Dumas that Simmons wasn't talking to anybody, that he had cut all his ties. And I didn't necessarily 100% believe that. I feel like, you know, he probably still has teammates he talks to and stuff like that. But there's definitely some people, I'm sure, you know, it's not favorable for him to go ahead and pick up the phone. He says, all right, Rich Paul, you go ahead and answer that call for me. And you know exactly what I am alluding to. But Kyle Neubeck goes on to say, teammates of his have said otherwise, and one of the team's photographers makes constant appearances with or around Simmons on the West Coast. Of course, that is not to say everything is hunky-dory or that the stakes of this offseason are not clear to both sides. So now he's getting into this trade piece, and listen to this line right here, which honestly caught me by surprise. The relationship between Simmons and Doc Rivers, it's worth noting, suffered significant damage that some believe is irreparable, though the Sixers would tell you when pressed on this that they believe things can be worked out and fences can be mended. Now, this definitely caught me by surprise. Obviously, Ben Simmons is burning at the stake here with a lot of Sixers fans, and this whole situation, it still does not feel, even though a lot of, signs point to maybe running this back, it still doesn't feel like we can, given the vibe and how things kind of transpired, especially in the playoffs. But to say now that Ben Simmons and Doc Rivers' relationship may be suffering is definitely interesting, because all the season and all down the stretch and into the playoffs, when Sixers fans, were coming at Ben Simmons and the media was coming at Ben Simmons, Doc Rivers was one of the main people to stick by his guy, right? You guys don't know basketball. Ben Simmons can do so many different things and this and that. And obviously after Game 7, and the next day, Doc Rivers came out and said they have an off-season plan. They want to get Ben back in the gym. But mostly, Doc Rivers went honestly over the ledge to defend Ben Simmons. So now, if it is true, and this is coming from Kyle Neubeck, who is one of the best Sixers reporters and follows his team daily, if their relationship suffered significant damage, if it is irreparable, then there is no running it back 100%. But it just kind of strikes me, and it gets me even more mad, because Ben Simmons, man, I mean, you have nobody to be mad at but yourself. And if you're mad at the Sixers organization, fine, right? But Doc Rivers as well, the guy that went, I mean, this guy went so far to defend you that he even made himself, a potential Hall of Fame coach look bad in the process of doing so. And Doc Rivers did good things for other players of this team, but even when it comes to you this year, the one player that we said, what are you doing, Doc? And you have the audacity to be mad at him, that relationship, and it may be irreparable. Really, Ben Simmons? Funny quick story. I was at the Phillies game yesterday, and a woman just randomly turns to me as the Phillies are getting lopsided by the Dodgers. And she goes, she saw somebody on the Jumbotron and they were wearing a Ben Simmons shirt. And she goes, if I was wearing a Ben Simmons jersey in Philadelphia right now, I would expect somebody to slap me across the face. And that hit me. And I'm just like, wow. Like Ben Simmons cannot come back because for the people that actually go to the Wells Fargo and watch the games and have that Philly vibe, right? There's no way that Philly fans are going to welcome this guy back, right? And I got into a Twitter beef yesterday with some guy. Oh, I watched Barkley and Moses Malone and this and that, so I know more Sixers than anybody. And, other teams have stars, and don't they have flaws, right? Don't they have glaring flaws? Here's the difference. Ben Simmons had his flaw is the main thing you need to do to be viable in the game of basketball. And don't act like we didn't show this guy love. That is something that is getting highly misconstrued. We've shown this guy love for 5 years. We've backed him. And everything that's gone, all the controversy, we have backed him for 5 years. The organization has backed him for 5 years. So don't act like we are in the wrong here, to get on this guy because he can't shoot a basketball and he's getting paid $30 million a year and he goes out and won't dunk the ball because he doesn't want to go to the free throw line because he can't shoot a free throw. The other thing that we heard yesterday was from Zach Lowe, ESPN insider. And this is what he said. According to his sources, he says several teams, including the Warriors, Spurs, and the Timberwolves, have discussed Simmons with varying degrees of interest. But one reason talks haven't gone far is that the Sixers likely view Simmons as their path to Damian Lillard. And if you don't know Zach Lowe, he's one of the top ESPN sources, and he's on the pod with Woj, and he's always talking NBA offseason stuff. And this was just in an article talking about where we stand in terms of the free agency, post-free agency, post-draft, and all that stuff. And he kind of just threw this in there. And obviously the Warriors, there's questions about Ben Simmons and Draymond. Maybe that's kind of why that got held up. And then the San Antonio Spurs, they have draft compensation, but they just don't have enough to really put us over the top right now. So I feel like that's kind of why that fell off, even though he'd probably be a good fit there. And then the Minnesota Timberwolves, they just... I don't know what's going on with the Timberwolves because I thought they would definitely be a good fit, and I feel like they, could swap D'Angelo Russell and Malik Beasley and stuff like that, but I definitely do think they could be involved in a 3-team trade at some point, but I don't know, the talks with Minnesota kind of fell off. But the interesting nugget there is that the Sixers, maybe haven't got anything done because they view Simmons as their path to acquiring Lillard. And that pretty much backs what I've been saying for some time now. Like, Daryl Morey's waiting on this, and he's waiting for that opportunity to pounce while other teams go out and they sign, these average free agents and they go and make their moves. And the Sixers are really waiting for something to open up, and Portland isn't doing much, and Dame is probably getting unhappy. And, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Daryl Morey is waiting for a huge opportunity so he can be the first front runner in line and have everything lined up to go out and do that. But it also is risky at the same time. But just hearing that from an ESPN source kind of confirms why we haven't done anything. We're waiting for the huge splash. That is what Daryl Morey does. He's trying to hit one out of the ballpark. He's trying to hit one into McCovey Cove. That's what Daryl Morey is trying to do. He's trying to send it into outer space. We know what we need. Damian Lillard would be the perfect fit for Philadelphia. And Ben Simmons, surprisingly, would fit in Portland very well, despite what people think. I don't care if he doesn't want to go there. This is businessman. But definitely interesting stuff from Zach Lowe. And, it seems like we're in pursuit. It seems like the common notion here is that the Sixers are in pursuit, and we'll see what happens. But speaking of fit, the last thing we'll talk is Chauncey Billups. And this is what he said yesterday. And I'm like... Huh? Chauncey Billups, the new coach of the Portland Trailblazers, and Chauncey Billups is a bit from the old schools, and he goes, I'm not one of those coaches that wants to shoot all threes and get up 50 threes. I don't believe in that. I've never heard something scream Ben Simmons more than that. I mean, the Portland Trailblazers need defense. They need a forward, and they need a guy who's going to complement their other shooters. I mean, it's right there. It's right there. A deal can be worked out. It would be perfect for both sides. Obviously, you'd have to throw in probably Tyrese Maxey or some draft picks or Matisse Thybulle or something like that. But, oh my gosh. I mean, this is perfect. And then also a couple days ago, the Blazers center, Jusuf Nurkic, came out and publicly defended Ben Simmons. And I'm not going to read too much into this, but it's very interesting. We saw this video a couple days ago of Ben shooting in the gym like he always does in the offseason. And Kevin O'Connor said, disappointing news, Ben Simmons is shooting with the wrong hand. Kevin O'Connor has been on notice for a while saying Ben Simmons is right-handed. And Jusuf Nurkic defends a Blazers player. Are Jusuf Nurkic and Ben Simmons close? I've never heard anything like that. I've never heard that they've had a relationship, but he comes out and says, disappointing news, Kevin still has a job. So public defense there. And then Chauncey Billups saying the Blazers' identity is not going to be a team that shoots a lot of threes. Well, guess what Damian Lillard does? He shoots a lot of threes. And guess what Ben Simmons doesn't do? Shoot a lot of threes. The writing is on the wall. It's a match made in heaven. I mean, perfect match, 100%. Get it done. Let's get to the point here. Let's simulate to the point where Damian Lillard has finally had enough, and he goes, Tony Snell and Cody Zeller and these cats are just not going to be enough. I want to trade. Boom. Ben Simmons, perfect fit. Chauncey Billups, a point guard himself, could probably help. I mean, it just all works out perfectly. And at this point, in Daryl we trust, man. Definitely some interesting stuff here today. A lot to kind of digest here, but we're going to see what happens as we go forward in the coming weeks. We just have to hope and pray, man. I want to hear from you. Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comment section about all this stuff. Appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace. Oh, and one more thing. So as I was getting ready to post this video, somebody sent me this post, and it's from Damian Lillard's Instagram. And this is what he put. Sometimes you just have to play the role of a fool to fool the fool who thinks they are fooling you. And then the comment, or the caption rather, said, chess, not checkers. I have no clue what this means. I'm not going to try to overanalyze it. I will leave that task up to you. Let me know down below in the comment section. What the heck does this mean? Rap lyric? Portland Trailblazers diss? You let me know. But that's all. You guys have a great day.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.